Okay, welcome. Let's begin by settling in our heart. So let's start with meditation posture. Just make sure your spine is straight, palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body. Now, let's do our gratitude exercise as always. So think of one thing which you are thankful for and which is positive for you in the past 7 days. Once you have identified that positive aspect, think about why that was positive for you and contemplate that for a few seconds. Now that you have identified that positive item, let's let it free. Just say it out loud. What is positive for you and why? Just let it go out in the universe. All right. So today, let's talk about loving kindness. It's one of those new world phrase, if you will. Actually, it's an old phrase which originates from a Sanskrit word called Maitri, Maitri, friendship actually. In Pali language, about 2000 years ago, 2500 years ago, it was called metta, Metta. So, loving kindness is a practice used to develop wishes for unconditional goodwill towards the object of the wish. So let's hear that again. It's a practice to develop wish for unconditional goodwill towards the object of the wish. Someone said very nicely, I think it may have been Rumi. I'm not sure, quite frankly, but it goes something like this. I want everything for you and nothing from you. I want everything for you and nothing from you. True unconditional love. So the qualities that facilitate development of loving kindness are non-deceptiveness, sincerity, easy to correct yourself, not the other person, right? Gentleness and lack of arrogance. why should we develop loving kindness, right? Why should we care about it? Because a peaceful world requires peaceful people. Angry people cannot bring peace. I'm amazed at, you know, when otherwise peaceful people are so agitated, they start violent acts in the name of demanding peace. How does that work? It just doesn't, right? So that's why loving kindness is a practice which allows us to create a world which is peaceful without throwing stones at each other. And ways we can develop loving kindness is number of different things: patience, generosity, inclusiveness, forgiveness, playfulness, so on and so forth. Right? If someone accuses of something to us, and if we end up being generous towards them, or if we forgive them, then that starts that chain reaction or a snowball effect, if you will. So that's the focus of our meditation today. And in this loving kindness meditation, uh, essentially, we are going to do it in 4 different parts. So, first, we look at ourselves and we wish happiness, love, joyfulness for ourselves. Then we'll think of a person who is closest to us and we will wish happiness, joyfulness, love for them. And then we extend a little bit further. Then we think of someone who is not in our circle at all. Some totally third person, right? Some guy in Africa, let's say, right? Where if you think of them, you are not attached one way or other towards them, right? Uh, you don't feel love towards them and you don't feel anger towards them, right? Someone totally random. Uh, what most people say, I could care less, right? I mean, if you hear about them on TV, you won't, it won't affect you at all. So we'll think about some random person who we don't have any affection towards or any animosity towards, and then we will wish happiness, love, joyfulness for them. And in the end, the fourth part is all living beings, right? And then we'll do the exact same. So that's the 4 part loving kindness meditation we'll try to do. Uh, as always, the first thing we'll do is we'll start by settling in our hearts, and then we'll clear our mind. And this time I'm going to give you a different trick. Last couple of times we tried. First time we tried to just um, watch our thoughts and acknowledge it. Last weekend we tried uh, that our thoughts were, clouds in the skies and let them disappear. So here's a third trick uh, for meditation is that think of your thoughts as balloons. Okay, if you let go a helium balloon in the air, it is going to go up, 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 and up, and you'll keep seeing that, and then it disappears in space, right? You can't see that anymore. So let's think of our thoughts as balloons today and see if that, again, I'm just throwing these different techniques. Uh, they've been practicing for 2,600 years to see which one works for you, right? If the very first week's technique worked for you, then just follow that and ignore all these new options, right? But if the first 2 weeks didn't work, then let's try something different, right? So idea is that you don't have to follow the same, as long as you find the one which works in clearing your mind. That's the most important thing. So we'll clear our mind, and then we'll begin the loving kindness meditation. And again, it's an intentional wish for other living beings to be happy. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start with uh, getting into our meditation posture. If you can gently close your eyes, make sure your spine is straight. Put your palms in your lap, right over left, and gently touch your thumbs. It's helpful to keep your mouth just a little bit open, so all the tensions you may have accumulated in your jaws gets released. And now take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Try to have your exhalation longer than your inhalation. It's good for our lungs. So let's take another deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body. Take one more deep breath. This time, completely relax your body. Let's take another deep breath. And as you exhale, let your to-do list, your worries, your thoughts get out of your system. Just watch for your thoughts. If they do show up, imagine they are a balloon in the sky, and let them flow away. If you find yourself chasing your thoughts, please bring your focus back to your breath. sensation at your nostrils. Take about 3 or 4 breaths, and that should settle your thoughts down. If a thought pops up, just imagine it's a balloon floating away in deep space. Now think of yourself, and as you are thinking about yourself, contemplate, may I be happy, may I be loved, may I be free from misery, may I be joyful. Now think of a person who is closest to you and contemplate, may you be happy, may you be loved, may you be free from misery, may you be joyful. Now think of a person who you are either not attached one way or the other. So you don't love or hate this person. There's some random person, maybe someone who you see when you drive every day. Think of that person and contemplate. May they be happy. May they be loved. May they be free from misery. May they be joyful. Now think of all living beings, all humans, all animals, all living beings. Once you visualize them, contemplate. May we be happy. May we be loved. May we be free from misery. May we be joyful. Now take a minute or so to repeat this entire sequence on your own. First, visualize yourself, then someone closest to you, then someone When you're ready, gently open your eyes. So Let's unmute everyone and see if there are any questions. This was a different type of meditation, but I thought we'll just mix it up and have this visualization meditation today. Any questions?
Niro, is this the philosophy that more like Buddha's, like what he talks of self realization and forgiveness to others, basically?
Right. So Buddha gave 84,000 teachings. Buddha gave teachings for about 40 years, give or take. Okay. And when they say he gave 84,000 teaching, this is just now, this is my interpretation. Okay. Up to 84,000, that's what they say. But my interpretation is based strictly on math, that, if he, for 40 years, if he talked 3 times a day, that will come roughly to about 84,000, give or take. Okay. So that's how, and all of Buddha's teachings are about enlightenment. So these, and Buddha's teachings have roots in yogic system. So they didn't come out of thin air, right? And what the yogic system says is this is a connected consciousness, and it's a continuous cycle of life and death, birth and death, right? And those of us who believe in karma know that, when we die, depending on type of karma ripens, we may or may not be human being next time around, right? And there are 6 realms of this births, and idea is to get out of this cycle of birth and death, and that is what is enlightenment. So these teachings are working towards that goal, so that we are not hopefully coming back uh,
to the
again.
earth.
Exactly. So that's the idea.
Okay, there is one holistic person. I took his, I was his patient, and he has sent some video on visualizing the meditation and everything.
Correct.
I'll send that
Please,
email to you.
please. Yeah,
And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Niro,
Yeah.
Luke has sent that to.
Yeah, I'll incorporate those into one of those sessions. And if anyone has an idea, you want to cover a topic, just email me, and I'm happy to incorporate a specific topic. It's pretty interesting, and we can go as deep as we want to. I'm trying to keep this non-secular, right? I'm trying to keep this not as deep, just because we're calling this meditation for beginners, right? But as we go through, a few months of this, then if we want to dive deep, we can do that.
You can refer to Prema also.
So, okay.
I think
Any other questions?
See, like
Nirav, this is Sangeeta. I have a question.
Please.
So we say when a thought comes, just acknowledge it and let it go. Think about as a balloon or cloud and let it go. So
Correct.
what is the final goal? Where do we want to get? Do we want to go completely blank at some
Yes.
point?
The final goal is to have a peaceful mind. A peaceful mind is a mind without any thought process. Just like you should be able to control your thoughts. See, right now we are not able to control our thoughts. It's like a wild elephant, right?
Mhm.
You have 2 hands, and they only move unless you have a medical condition. They only move when you want them to move, right? your
Right.
mind is not listening to you the same way. And idea behind this, Sangeeta, is that we bring it down to a peaceful state where it's completely blank. If you keep your mind completely blank for 1 full minute, which is very difficult to do, by the way, it's considered tremendous progress. So first step in this mind control is to, or what they call training the mind, is to have 1 minute of complete peacefulness. Once you achieve that, then you work towards 5 minutes, and then you work towards 15 minutes, and then 1 hour. And if you have 1 hour, I mean, you are there. You know, you enlighten yourself. So, but initially, our goal is to get to 1 minute. That's it. If we have 1 minute of complete peaceful mind without a single thought, that would be a good step to achieve.
So rather than looking at an empty mind or blankness, can I look into a picture? I mean,
When you look at picture, a visualization is also a thought, right? We talked about last time about music, right? So
Mhm.
that's an auditory process. So that's also a thought, in a sense that all your sense organs end up in your brain, right? You cannot see anything unless your mind interprets that, right? How are you seeing this? You're seeing this picture, goes in your eyeballs, it reflects, and then sends a signal to your brain, right? So nothing happens without your mind acknowledging it. So if you're seeing a picture, then your mind is not blank.
okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because it's all part of sensory organs, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so that's the goal, Sangeeta. If you do this on daily basis, just try 1 minute. If you get to 1 minute, right, just stay there for month or two, and then we'll try to go up to 5 minutes and whatnot. But 1 minute is all we are trying to do. It's very difficult to do without a single thought.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Even a couple of seconds are hard at this point.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's the idea, right?
It's
Let's
difficult.
get our mind in control.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Mira,
Yeah.
I have other thought. Like when you concentrate your mind on one thing, say either, as Sangeeta said, picture, or say you be in front of the idol, or assume that somebody is God and you sit in front of him and just think about him, at least your mind is not diverting, but you're thinking only of one thing basically. It is, I feel personally that it's something that you are achieving rather than wandering here and there. Your mind is disciplined. It's not,
So it's a step in the right direction,
yeah,
but it's not the goal.
it's not the goal. It's
Right.
a, I would say, a
Training the mind.
roadway to the goal.
Training.
Yes. So that is one. If it's again, it's a step in the right direction. That rather than going into 10 different directions, now you're in one direction. Idea is that it has. We want to bring it to a complete stop, right?
Okay.
And we only want to think about when we want to think about, right? That's the idea, right? This finger which came to my cheek right now, right? It doesn't come until I want it to show up, right? But our mind doesn't listen to us like that. And this is about practice of training the mind, where our mind starts to listen to us. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mira.
Bye.
Thank you, Neil. Bye.